It's the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I felt like that was very appropriate because we did talk all about the live show for the Glow ladies in episode 5. So be sure to keep watching so we can talk all about it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
You know, I feel like if this hosting thing doesn't go anywhere, I feel like I could totally be a wrestling announcer.
I think you could too.
I think that that's my next area of expertise. I'm taking Bash's role, and I'm just going to be a wrestling announcer. What do you think?
I think you could totally do it.
What's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back. At this point, you probably watched all the way up and binged through episodes 1 through 5. If you're not watching 5, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go back, watch episode 5 because it was incredible. My name is Candice Cruz, and I'm joined with one of the original Glow Girls. You know her, you love her, and you love to hear all about all of the tidbit facts of the original gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I just can't talk anymore because it's been so many episodes. The one and only Little Egypt.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
Look, you have applause. That applause was not for me and my flub up. It's fine.
I am so excited. That episode 5 had me on the edge of my seat. I was like...
So good.
It was entertaining.
Yes.
It was full on entertainment. It was nice to kind of breathe a little bit from, episode 4 and Nash dealing with his issues, and then just to enjoy the show for what it is. And that's just the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I love that.
It was so good. I agree with you. This has been an amazing yet a little bit heavier, heftier season. We've got a lot of good meaty parts of the storyline, but this was just fun and lighthearted. It didn't start that way though. Can we just hop right into poor Tamay? Oh, beautiful shot at the beginning, I have to say. That was amazing, the way that they did the repetitiveness. And you really get a sense of how much
impact her body was taking.
And how much they're doing the exact same over and over and over and over and over. And normally they only show 4 times and then that's it. I mean, we saw that segment go on and on and on and her slowly deteriorate, and the emotion from her was just... I felt her pain.
Yeah. Damn, I felt so bad because, I've seen so many girls leave because of injuries. I left myself because of an injury.
What was your injury?
My heel caught in a separation between the mats when I was delivering a headbutt, which is such a simple, easy move. You can't screw that up.
Right.
But I was a barefooted wrestler. My heel caught and just snapped my ACL and put me out of the business in seconds. It was over. So when I'm watching Tamay, I'm not just reliving my own personal experience of what it is to say goodbye to these girls, because you are gonna, you have to let yourself go and say goodbye. Right. But you also, I'm thinking about all the other girls that had to work through their injuries. Do you know, they were, we were all in pain for most of the time. Me and along with a lot of the other barefooted wrestlers, we were working with sprained ankles. We would be taping them up. We'd be painting them with makeup to try and make our foot look like it was barefooted still. We fell in love with the tape that the paramedics were using to give us a little bit more support around our ankles. And, torn rotator cuffs. And when you're thrown wrong and you're landing wrong, I mean, it takes a toll on your body.
I can imagine it. I mean, it takes a toll on her spirit. We obviously saw the wine and the Motrin that she just kept doing to numb the pain until she couldn't anymore.
I know. It made me sad that she felt like she had no options, and her option is just to continue doing what she's doing.
She really didn't at that point. No one had talked to her about it. All she's thinking is oh my gosh, I can't lose this job. I can't lose this job. I can't lose this job.
Right.
And you just keep doing it.
Yep.
And, but that being said, it's a perfect segue into the favorite part of the entire episode, which is where she decides that they're going to switch roles because she wants the walker.
I know, that was so smart. And she did a great job, didn't she? I loved her as an old biddy. She just nailed it. And it was just so fun to see how the other girls personalized the characters that they were given, even though they tried to keep it what they thought the character was supposed to be. They all had their own version of it, and it was refreshing.
Yeah, and even one of the characters, it was Carmen that said, this is the first time I've actually wanted to watch the show. Because you're seeing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yes.
And it gets old and stale for them at least.
Yeah.
And, you know, Sandy, obviously played by Gina Davis, she says it best at the end. She's like, no, I love it. Like, you have to keep things fresh in live performances, because if you're feeling fresh, the audience will feel it. They don't know what they're feeling, but they're going to feel something.
Totally
different.
agree. No, 100%, 100%. I hope that this segues into them having to do multiple matches where, like, the fans start queuing up. It becomes like if I was going to create a prediction, right? It would be like the actual what's the word I'm looking for, where it creates like this buzz and the excitement around Glow, when Glow was really performing live, and the cues and people lining up. It was just amazing to be in that energy, and I hope they capture that, because they're making it in this season. It looks like it's the same show over and over, and it is boring. Yeah,
and I think that there's just a different energy. Like, I loved watching all of the girls kind of take on something different.
Yeah.
But it did bring up really hard topics as well for certain characters.
Yeah.
Like Fortune Cookie, obviously, she had a rough time. And I predict that it's going to feed into other episodes specifically, but I know that it's something that I think we're still dealing with today, but obviously in the 80s where things were politically incorrect, and you don't really realize the negative connotation and how it's going to affect people that it actually like affects, because obviously Melrose decides she's going to be Fortune Cookie. Yeah. And she doesn't like it. The real Fortune Cookie doesn't like it.
As a spectator, were you offended by Melrose's interpretation of Fortune Cookie?
I think I come from a different time that it does. Mm-hmm. I think there's obviously a time and a place, and I think that I don't know. I can't speak to her own experience, but I know that there's certain things that, like, tongue-in-cheek, haha, we can joke around, but there's certain things that just hit home when you're from a different ethnicity of any background. Like, even Carmen brought up, she's like, I'm the only one that can do Welfare Queen. I'm half black. And everybody's like, But there's so many different variations, and everybody has their own story and iteration of why it's okay for them to be politically incorrect, but other people can't be politically incorrect about them, if that makes sense.
It actually does make sense, and I think like we need to be more sensitive. If you weren't seeing that scene and becoming more sensitive to the plight of other minorities, then you weren't seeing the scene right, in my opinion. Here's why: because perception is reality. Mm-hmm. And Fortune Cookie's perception of Melrose's performance was offensive to her, so therefore
it was offensive.
It was offensive. Yeah. And so our sensitivity needs to be with that, and not, I thought it was funny, it can't be that. If she felt it was offensive, then it is.
That's a great way of putting it. And I think that they're shining a light on it in the best way possible on the show, because I do think they address issues that are bigger.
They're so good at that.
And they do it great, that they're bringing that up. But I loved how she dealt with it, and she had poise and took it in stride. But I also found it very interesting with the two old biddies switching roles and them playing very specifically racially inappropriate characters, and they thought it was fine. They were like, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm a villain. I'm not anything else.
Right.
So it's just interesting to see the different vantage points of how we're all living through this life,
exactly.
Right?
And how about from a complete wrestling mark perspective?
Yes.
Sam getting in the ring as a referee.
He was so good, and he was having so much fun. You could tell it on his face.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh my God. I have to tell you guys, back in the day when we were wrestling, the referees that you saw were the exact same storyline. When I first came in season 1, Frank the wrestler was dating Tam-May, just kind of like Keith and Cherry Bang, Then our lead writer was the referee during the time that I was wrestling, and he was the short guy with the glasses. And then after Steve, the next wrestler was Matt's son, who was actually Jane Mansfield's biological son that she had with Matt Simber, and he was in the ring for at the end of season 2, going into season 3. So they were just pulling telling him.
Kept it in the family.
And when Sam got into the ring, I was like, that is so perfect. That
Yeah.
is just so great to see
and
that.
his, like, happiness on his face. He's like, this is great. I
Yeah.
love that he was like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm tripping on acid.
I know, he was enjoying himself.
He was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm enjoying it.
I loved watching him like 1, 2, 3, you'd slap the mat.
Oh.
It was awesome.
And
Oh
then
my
the girl
God.
using the book. She
Oh,
used
yeah.
the book. Oh.
Yeah.
His fortune cookie was playing Britannica at the time, and she
That's
just
right.
hits her with the book. He's like, don't hit with the book. We can't hit books. It was
Oh,
so
that
good.
was
And
good.
obviously, we
Yeah.
had Justine come back,
Yeah.
which their relationship has finally, like, blossomed, I feel like.
It's definitely, they're comfortable with it, aren't
Yes,
they?
yeah.
They have a great relationship.
And I loved just seeing them sit and banter back and forth. And she wrote a screenplay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of mutual respect between them too. It's
Yes, yeah.
she respects him as a father. He respects her as a daughter.
I think we had to have last season for that to happen.
Yeah.
For him to be like, no, you need to be with your mom and you need to, like, do school and you need to focus. And that's being a dad.
Yeah.
It's not, gotta do what's best for the kid, not necessarily what you want. And you don't want her to come along. But she's there for spring break.
Yes. Yeah.
And gives him the screenplay as he's like, oh, poor Sam, he just can't catch a break. Like, he's got his screenplay and he's like about to give it to her. She's like, wait, I got mine. And so he never got to give her his screen.
I know. And now, Sheila the she-wolf was not impressed with his writing abilities.
Right. And I think he already knew that Justine's was going to be better.
And it
than
was,
his.
I mean, it was like he was impressed with it.
The pieces that he did read, he was very impressed. And I'm just like, the poor guy, he's in love with Ruth. He can't catch a break with that. He can't catch a break with his writing, and now his daughter's a better writer than he is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's actually not being utilized. Like he's on the payroll, but as a director, he's not being utilized because it's the same show over and over. There's no reason. It's on autopilot right now.
and he's just like, I'm just a guest. Like, I'm just getting paid to be here. Cool. But that brings up another interesting topic. Obviously, we open with a funeral of sorts that was apparently Sandy's father figure.
Yes.
But Sandy offers an extension for the Glow show, and that's why she's at the show, the time that they decide to switch. But we got to see a different side of Bash.
He played hardball, didn't he?
I don't like him.
You don't? Oh, he was full on hardball with this. I was kind of impressed that he stood up for something that he really wanted and he was going to make it happen no matter what. Was it kind? No, it was not.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any sensitivity in it.
I see where you're coming from. I agree.
It's just
but I still
business.
didn't like it.
I know, because he should put his friends first, but what drove him to want? Yeah, this is what he's wanted. This is his dream, like from childhood.
That's very true. Yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah, and he doesn't want anyone taking that from him. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think there were better ways around it.
absolutely. Yeah.
But seeing him try and work with Sam, but not really discuss it with Debbie.
Yeah.
I don't think that was fair as much because I don't think he gets where Debbie's coming from. Like, he's like, oh, she's a woman. She's got her kid. Like, I don't want to worry about that right now. There's compromise here.
Yes.
Which is what the girls are trying to tell Debbie,
And she's not willing.
Leave.
She wasn't willing. She's not willing to compromise at this point. Yeah.
So, I mean, on the same token, I guess both of them were in the wrong.
What do you think about Sheila the she-wolf entering the ring? How happy were you to see that?
Liza Minnelli, baby girl, she was amazing. She was so good.
I know, and she's wrestling with a martini glass. I thought that
She
was
held the
so.
glass
Yeah,
the whole time.
She was brilliant.
Yes.
It was a great character to whip up something like that and then have her just like own it with Bobby in the background.
Oh, and Bobby, he was thriving.
Yeah.
Thriving, loving every minute of it. It was just such a good episode, and like they still had the character development that we're loving about the season, but it was a little bit more lighthearted and like back to the fun of the wrestling because we haven't really seen a lot of wrestling.
No, this was it. Yeah.
So this was the first time we've had everybody in the ring. Everybody's getting a time frame, and yeah, it was really cool. The only thing I didn't like was obviously like Bash becoming an evil.
Why did he show up in the Elvis outfit? Where did that come? Was that
because he's
part of the
supposed
show?
to be part of the show when he goes up on the stage
gotcha.
in the Elvis costume.
Gotcha.
But I just think that there was a better way of dealing with it and not blindsiding. But he did take Sandy's advice, though.
Which was?
Because Sandy's advice at the beginning was always corner someone to make a deal when they can't tell you no.
Oh.
And he did that.
Yeah.
He did that.
He did. He did.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Well, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen.
I think it's the best thing for the girls, to tell you the truth. So
yeah, I mean, they get to. I do see that, like, if he would have just approached it from a different way, I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
You know, they get to have their job. They get to live in Vegas. They're making money. They get to perform. Like, why wouldn't you want to? If you go back to LA, there's no guarantee. At least there's a guarantee here. For 9 more months, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of work.
Free buffet and a lot of work and a lot of housing covered. I mean, I'll sign up. Sure. Why not? Let's go.
Well, you could see why we were devastated when we got hurt. You could see why when one of the girls left, it was like, damn, that was money. That was an offer you couldn't refuse.
Right.
And, you know, your body
just said no.
It said, we're ending it. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see where Timmy and all the other characters go.
I know.
Into the next one, because this was a really good one of my favorites of the season so far.
It reminded me of episode 8 in season number 2, where they did that remake.
You were very specific.
Well, only because that's when they remade the Glow show, and we watched it from its entirety.
Yes.
It was
and they did the recording.
Yes. Yeah. So it had that level of entertainment where it was just like you could be free to enjoy everything. We didn't even talk about Zoya and Liberty Bell switching. Roles.
Hello. That was you're right.
Perfect.
You're right.
Oh,
granted, I do like them in their original roles. Just not gonna lie.
Oh, totally agree.
I thought they were great, but like, it was just it was so bizarre. Everyone else made sense to me, and then those two, I was like, I don't know. I mean, they're good. They're great. Yeah. But like, I'm so used to like Zoya the Destroyer, and then Liberty Bell with like a Southern accent rather than the the kind of like Dorothy 1940s from the like type of. I can't do it right now.
Like the Wizard of Oz kind of thing, you know, Dorothy. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yellow Brick Road. I don't know how to do it. Someone teach me.
I'm from Nebraska.
From Nebraska. Oh my goodness gracious! Here we are. There we go. Get some Gone with the Wind. But yeah, they were good. But again, their relationship is thriving now.
Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see that. They're able to put the past behind them.
Yeah, because I mean, the whole show started around these two incredible best friends, and then it just went and now we're finally building it back up together.
Yeah.
I don't know what that sound effect was, but
it was good.
It was thanks so much, guys. If you're that entertained by our commentary, you will be even more entertained going into episode 6 of Glow. We love talking to you guys about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. Obviously, we're on season 3, and we've been here from the beginning, and we're so happy that you're on this journey with us. Be sure to comment below, let us know your favorite part of the episode or any of the previous episodes, and be sure to hop back over after you're done on Netflix and watch us on AfterBuzz TV Comedy's channel. My name is Candice Cruz. You can find me on all my social media at Candice R. Cruz.
Guys, you can find me at Little Egypt on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Glow Little Egypt. Go down that rabbit hole. I've been building albums since 2008. You'll see a lot of the original Glow girls and what they're up to now.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.